What's up, guys? There's been a lot going down over the last couple of days. Micah Parsons is now a Green Bay Packer, and I'm joined by one and only the legend Aldo Gandia from the Barroom Network. Aldo, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, man. It's always great to talk football with you. I really admire what you've done with your sports network. So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about Parsons.
Man, it's do you think this has changed the dynamic of the NFC North having Micah Parsons now with the Green Bay Packers?
It's hard for me to believe that. It's certainly possible, but Parsons has never taken the Dallas Cowboys deep into the playoffs. And while he is a superstar because of his disruptive nature, there also comes with disruptive nature in terms of passing offenses. But there are negatives that are associated with his game, and so the Packers are going to have to figure out how to overcome those negatives before I see them being a true Super Bowl contender. And let's not forget, it's the quarterback that's usually the guy that gets the most credit for taking your team to the final game. And
Always.
I'm not a big time believer in Jordan Love.
Me neither, man. Me neither. I've never been a big fan of Jordan Love. I'm still not a believer in Jordan Love. And this is a move you make when you go all in. And honestly, as much as people are bringing up Micah Parsons to Khalil Mack, it's Jordan Love that I'm going to compare to Mitch Trubisky more in this one. That, hey, you're going all in on a quarterback that, yeah,
Yeah.
he's done a little bit, but I do believe a lot of it has been his coaching. Matt LaFleur is able to
Mm-hmm.
hide a lot of his weaknesses and scheme guys wide open. Now, obviously, Matt LaFleur is still there, so you're still going to have a little bit of that. But
Sure.
in playoffs, Jordan Love has, I think it's two or three touchdowns and 5 interceptions. He
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been great in the playoffs, and that's when quarterbacks need to win games. And so far, Love hasn't taken his game to that next level. So I'm with you there. And Jerry Jones said it himself, teams in the playoffs, they're able to mitigate Micah Parsons a little bit. You can never take him away, but you're
Right.
always going to game plan for him. He might make the other guys around him better, but
Mm-hmm.
when you're double teaming him, you're chipping him, and you're running the ball right at him, you might be able to limit his effectiveness.
I'm 100% in on that, and I think we've got the coaching staff in Chicago now that can overcome these dominant defensive players that they have to face when the offense is out there, and vice versa. I think that these guys are smart enough to figure out ways to combat the superstars of this league.
Man, for real. And it feels great. It's refreshing to have coaches that you can actually believe in. We still haven't actually seen him coach a real NFL regular season game yet, but I think most of Chicago feels the same way, that we have a lot of confidence in Ben Johnson. It's not just what he's done as an offensive coordinator, but you pair that with the staff that he's put together around him and just the way he talks, the way he handles himself, and how
Mm-hmm.
intense he is. I've been blown away by Ben Johnson.
Me too. And I I hate the fact that we didn't get to hear from him, still haven't got to hear from him about this trade, because I
Oh,
would
yeah.
expect him to get to the podium and say, I ain't worried. I'm looking forward to scheming against them. That's the kind of coach that we have not had in this city since before you were born, when Mike Ditka was coaching the Chicago
Yep,
Bears.
for real.
And while I have a lot of complaints about Ditka, one of the things I loved about him is that he was a real man in a real man's game, and so he talked the stuff, and so and Ben does it, when he called out LaFleur at his opening press conference, and he's talked about the competition over his press conferences in this preseason. I know that he is up to the challenge of scheming against Parsons and neutralizing what that guy does best and taking advantage of what he doesn't do well.
Yeah, I love to hear it, and I'm super excited about what Ben Johnson is going to be able to do as far as scheming guys wide open. He's obviously going to be able to hopefully protect Caleb and get him to get the ball out quicker with some quick design passes. But it's really going to come down to, in situations like that, with our worry at left tackle, you're going to have
Mhm.
to chip the guy. You're going to
Yeah.
have to double team the guy. He's going to have to be, and your running backs are going to have to be able to protect, and that's going to be a key. Colston Loveland and our wide receivers, I've already seen them blocking really well in preseason, so that
Mhm.
much I'm excited about. at least they're embracing that no block, no rock mentality.
Absolutely. That's been so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
When you have studied Braxton in this preseason, what I've noticed his biggest issue is getting faked going to the outside, and then that left leg doesn't give him the power to get back inside for the block. Or so is that what you've seen too, or are you seeing
I've
other
seen him.
issues?
His footwork is altogether. His footwork is just a little bit off. He
Hmm.
doesn't look as powerful as he did last year. He doesn't look as comfortable as he did last year. And like you said, getting beat inside. One thing you heard from Ben Johnson, remember that sound clip that came out a few weeks ago? It was him mic'd up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a spot in there where he said it twice. Don't get beat inside. You can't get beat inside. And
Yeah.
Braxton's
Yes.
getting beat inside. And that's why I think even though he's probably the starter going into week one,
Hmm.
he's not going to be the starter very long. I know people are down on Theo Benedict right now because they have him playing on the right side a little bit. I expect him to come in and seize that job at some point. If he doesn't, then maybe Theo Benedict's going to start for a little bit. But I still expect Theo or Ozzy Trapillo to be back on the left side sooner rather
Hmm.
than later. And hopefully Ozzy's a guy who could help out against Micah a little bit. Maybe.
Absolutely. Yeah, with that length that he has. But I'm with you on Theo. I think, if there's been any blemish with the coaching staff this year is that they noticed too late that Theo could potentially help at the left tackle position. He should have been taking snaps there when they had the open competition for three of them. It should have been the four of them. They should have recognized that Theo had the capability. That's
I
easier
am.
said than done, but these are coaches that I'm relying on to be at a very high level.
To take it up. But I would say that's something that in the past I would not have expected from our coaches for them to, especially a guy like Karan Amagaji is a 3rd-round pick, Ozzy's
Mhm.
a 2nd-round pick, and you got this UDFA coming out of nowhere and passing them both up.
Yeah.
I did not see that a lot in previous regimes. We might have guys who we thought should get chances like that, but it never really happened. And
Yeah.
it was refreshing to see that how Theo was playing in practice really mattered.
Yeah, I love that. Like you said, there's been a lot of refreshing things about this organization lately that I'm falling back in love with them. after the
Finally.
relationship was on the skids a little bit.
It's crazy, although, because I didn't have my channel until Ryan Poles was hired, and a lot of it, I've loved a lot of the process Ryan Poles have done, and
Absolutely.
people have talked about how I'm just overly positive, or and it's like, you should have heard me back when Pace was the GM or Phil Emery. Like, I've hated on a lot of draft picks most of my life, so it just feels like, and it's felt like, and I know it's felt like a long time because we've been losing these last couple of years, but
Yep.
I feel like it's a new era of football and positive things. It's going to be good Bears football for a long time coming forward.
Yeah, I was listening to the sports radio in the car. I didn't get who said this, but somebody said, Chicago fans have to respect the process. And the process is a methodical rebuild. It's getting closer and closer for that thing to just burst open with multiple wins and division championships and so forth, but it's just going to take a little while. I mean, we could have gone after Parsons, but what would that have done to the salary cap? What would that have done to the future?
Not having
And
those
trying
first
to
round picks, man. I mean,
exactly.
we've been there before.
Yes,
We need
exactly.
to find our own young pass rushers
Thank
with
you.
our draft picks, and we need to continue developing and drafting players. Not having those draft picks, it's good if you want to. The Rams kind of proved that when they did it with Von Miller. When you
Hmm.
trade away all that draft capital for a player, and the Bears did too, we had a
Hmm.
shot in 2018. If we didn't, I'm not going to say the double doink, but if that didn't happen, a lot of people in the league believed that defense was good enough to win a Super Bowl. Now, was
Yep.
the offense? Probably not, but that was a Super Bowl quality defense. So when you make moves like that, it puts you in a position to win right now. And the Rams, when they traded for Von Miller, they won the Super Bowl. But
Hmm.
since then, it's been straight downhill. And that's a
Yeah.
lot of times what happens when you don't have first round picks to supplement the talent, and you've overpaid a guy. So you're having to cut young ascending players into free agency that could have also helped your team. It could put your team in a bad position. So the Packers are all in right now with Jordan Love. We'll see how it goes.
Yep. I think it will end up costing them more than they're going to get. They'll get some wins, but they're not going to have the sustained success the Chicago Bears are developing. And throughout the rest of this decade and into next, it'll be the Bears winning NFC North titles and
Do
the
we own the
Packers.
Packers?
I think we will. I really do.
Hey, that's perfect, man. I love it. Although I love it, I love
Yeah.
it, I love it. What's up, guys? I'm here with G Walker. We're
What's going on, everybody, man? I don't know if you see me on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, but the Micah Parsons. I just hate that he's in the division, bro. Like, just seeing that optics of it, we got to play in week 14, play him twice a year, and I think we just didn't do diligence enough to kind of peek around that corner and see. I would really love to see the thinking behind him, like him coming to the north is crazy.
But you wanted him here. I mean, to me, it is tough because he's a prime player, man. 26 years old, one of the better pass rushers in football. A guy who could have made this team better. Clearly, would have made our pass rush better. But someone else said it. I mean, right now we're 10th in the NFL in most money invested at defensive end because we paid Diao,
Right,
because we played Montez Sweat.
right.
So for us, in order to pull off a trade like that, we probably would have had to include one of those guys in there just because if not, we would have been paying way too much money at edge.
And I don't even think he's that type of player. I'm not going to say it's overrated, but I do think he's an anchor to your defense. Like, he can be in factor. You know what I mean? He's slight in build. He's not really the prototypical kind of big defensive end. So he got some things where if you've seen his production slip and him only having 1 sack in 4 playoff games, I think it's a little bit of his build. But to add him to your team and keep him out of your division, I'm doing my due diligence. Like, I don't need him. People having all these. We're trying to cope as a fan base, but at the same time, like, the coping is fine and talking about he's this and stats and all that. But bro, he's coming after Caleb Williams on Sundays for the foreseeable future. So,
and the other thing there that people don't realize with that and I said I'm even coping a little bit because his stats in the playoffs. Here's the things he does when he's not getting those sacks. A lot of times, the reason he's not getting those sacks are because teams are game planning for him. He's not just going one-on-one against tackles. He has running backs chipping him. He has double teams coming. He has tight ends chipping him. They're running. They're having rollouts away from him. They're running plays away from him, and in the run game, they're running right at him.
Right.
So, but teams are dictating what Micah. They're game planning for Micah Parsons, and he's making the guys around him better. And that's something that I'm worried about here when it comes to Packers is I'm worried about the other guys around him it's going to make better. Guys like Rashawn Gary, guys at the defensive tackle. I mean, it's tough. It's going to be – they got a lot of guys that are going to be getting after us on that defense. So,
yeah, man, he's just going to add to it. You know what I mean? He just adds to it. Like, it's more of a plus than a minus to me. Like, anytime you can move the needle a little bit with a player like that that's never really on the table for a trade, you know what I mean? Things like that. And he's coming to your division, like, bro, I think I wouldn't have paid Dayo. I wouldn't have paid him. There's no way with all the knowledge about him not being happy. There was no way I'm like, hold on, let's not jump on this young boy when we can probably get, and then we could probably restructure and we could probably get rid of other. Like, you have to do that because there's no way I'm paying his career high is 3 sacks. There's no way.
Man, yeah, Diao was a guy who I had him on my free agent target list, but he was down. I thought if we went after a guy, it would probably be Josh Sweat. Sweat would get a lot of money. Sweat is the guy who had production. There's even a guy out there now you can get for cheap, like a Zadarius Smith. There's other options out there. What we do a pass rusher right now is Dominique Robinson going to be playing a lot of reps. One thing I will put out there is Shamar Turner, the rookie. When I went back and graded his college film, I liked him better out at edge than I did at defensive tackle. He's good at defensive tackle, but he was a little bit quicker when he's out at edge. A guy who I think he's gonna get time at edge. I think even when Ryan Poles was asked about it at a press conference, they said, "Do you plan on playing him at edge?" And he said he has to learn defensive tackle first. So they're gonna keep teaching him to play inside. Then he's gonna play outside. He's a guy to not overlook. He's going to get some reps at edge, I think.
So how is he health-wise? Where is he at right now? Because I haven't really been seeing or hearing.
He's back to practice. He practiced. I thought he was going to play. So he was back to practice before the Bills game. 2 days before the Bills game. But he didn't play. Obviously, only 2 days of practice. You're not ready. I thought he was going to play like pretty much at least half the Chiefs game.
Yeah.
He
But he
didn't. I
didn't.
don't know what happened there. That's my biggest. Or they're like, look, he's ready to go. He doesn't really need the reps. I don't know. Especially, I don't know exactly what happened there, but he's back at practice. He was in the padded practices at the end of the right before the Chiefs game. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a question there with Shamar Turner. We're gonna find out if he gets any reps Monday night against the Vikings. Honestly.
I don't, man. This team has been hurt. Like the rookies, Zay Frazier, we don't even. He's not even hurt. He has some personal stuff going on. That could be anything. It could be domestic. It could be mental. It could be
He's done for the year too. Yep.
Done for the year. Austin Booker done for the year.
No, Booker's just out for 4 games.
Oh, it's 4 games.
Yeah,
okay,
he can come back. He's out just 4 games. Yeah.
Okay, 4 games. But we're gonna need it because he popped off the screen. And I don't care what nobody says, man. 3 sacks in the game and all those in the forced fumble, bro. Like that's
and I don't know if you saw the clip, but there was a clip going viral from Hard Knocks where Bill's all-pro left tackle was talking to him. He was like, "You're special, man. You got to go out there and show it." And then he went into the game and he did go out there and show it. And Austin Booker is a guy with a lot of potential, a lot of upside. Really disappointed that he's out the first 4 weeks, but he's a guy who, man, I'd love to see him get back out here because we need more pass rush. And right now it's who's going to step in and fill the void for what I thought Austin Booker was going to be early in the season. Right now it's a huge question mark. And seeing the Packers land Micah Parsons obviously does not make that feel any better. And a lot of Bears fans are frustrated out there, but I think it's not the end of the world. I think people forget the Packers did lose one of the better defensive tackles when it comes to interior guys. Kenny Clark was really good.
Yeah, he was.
He dominated us the last few years, and he's really good at stopping the run.
Right. Yeah, Kenny Clark. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's just the instant reaction of it all, man. You come to your division. That's the worst case scenario, man. So, a lot of people felt a certain way about it. Multiple things could be true, you know what I mean, about anything. So everybody's right, but the only thing that matters is that Michael Parsons is lining up on Sundays against Caleb Williams and the guys, bro. That's all I see. And I didn't want to see that at all. That it was
luckily we have 14 or so weeks to get ready for Micah Parsons. Unfortunately, though, we have a lot of other really talented pass rushers to play in the weeks before that.
Yes.
But we got to get this left tackle situation solved. We got to get it solved soon, or it's going to be a long year, man. But
yeah, because it's the left tackle position that's not solidified. That's one major spot. Then it's the pass rush. So you go into the season without your solidified left tackle position with Braxton Jones and Isaac Petrillo, who's at the right tackle, Theo Benedict that's looking like then you got no pass rush against the tape. Like, woo, man, like this is tough. This is tough because one of them is going to sink the boat one game or another, or it might just be all chaos. The left tackle position is terrible one game, and we're getting destroyed on by pass rush from other teams. So I hope that don't happen, man. I hope Ben Johnson is the play caller that we've been asking for, the coach, the guru that can scheme up, and he's really into this. He can just neutralize defenses, bro, one way or the other, man. I really this is where we're going to see why they paid Ben Johnson. Like we didn't think we were going to be able to see. Like why? Like now you all this creativeness, and now we see Michael Parsons and the Minnesota Vikings and all these teams with these good pass rushers. We're going to see right away what he's really about. And once we see it and it's successful, I think everybody in the fan base can calm down, bro. Like, whoo, we got us a coach that can make nothing out of something.
Once you see him scheme it up a couple of times, and even if it starts out slow, and we're gonna get tested right away because Brian Flores, Minnesota Vikings, they're blitzing. They're blitzing a lot. They're bringing the house. They're showing some exotic schemes to Caleb. If Ben Johnson can match that and his schemes can make us look good in that game right off the bat, I think the fans will ease up a lot. And
that's all we want.
But it comes down to that one game. If we lose that game and he looks bad, they could overreact the other way. So.
Yeah. And I think once we see it, it's like, oh, he Ben know what he's doing. Caleb getting the ball out. He's chipping the pass rushes. He's got the tight ends, quick passes. They're catching the ball. He's gonna be like, all right, cool. Ben knows what he's doing. Cool. Because other than that, it's gonna be tough sledding, man. It's gonna be tough.
100%, man. I love chopping it up with you, man. Did you have any final thoughts about this about that Micah Parsons trade or this season?
Just just the instant reaction of the Michael Parsons thing was not ideal, man. He's in our division. No matter how many people want to put out stats and all this hyperbole, like he's going to be lined up against Caleb Williams every Sunday for the foreseeable future. And nobody wanted to see that. That was the worst thing for me outside of his number. I don't care. He's talented. He's generational. And you put a good team around him, he'll probably do some good. But like you said, he gets double teamed a lot. Like, yeah, that's fine, but he's in our division, bro. Like, he's in our division. I don't want him here. That's like Roquan staying in our division to Detroit or something that we traded for him to go to Baltimore. Like, you don't want to see that, man.
Yeah.
But my expectations for the season is that, it's going to be – I think it's going to be a good season, and I think we're going to improve our win total. That's it. I think Caleb Williams is going to be better overall. He Rome.
Hopefully playing meaningful football.
Huh?
Hopefully playing meaningful football in the second half of the year.
Hopefully playing meaningful football, man, because what I saw from Rome, that game against the Chiefs, man, I finally saw him pop off the screen. Look like we could play a little bit of bully football now. Like, he went up and got it a few times. He wasn't scared
to
go
to the middle
of the end zone. He got that touchdown. Like, he was being the beast. I'm like, now I'm seeing Rome be Rome. Let's go.
Oh, man, I love Rome, man. One of my favorite players on the roster, man. Huge fan of Rome Odunze. And then Luther coming in and blocking. Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We get to now. You got a tight ends that's physical. You got Colston is physical. Cole is physical. Luther's physical. Like, we're going to be a physical team, man. So that gives me hope. We're not going to be a soft team. So what I saw from Rome, that sold me, man. Like, he's going to get busy this year. So that's just my expectations. 89 wild card. Caleb Williams throws over 4,000 yards and take one game at a time, and hopefully we be in a good spot. Other than that, it's going to be a long road, but I'm optimistic, man. I'm still excited for the season. I'm still excited. That Micah Parsons situation, oh well. Once the ball is kicked and you know what I mean, between the lines, all this talk about it, let's neutralize him now. Now I'm in warrior mode. I don't care that he's on the Packers. I don't care.
I don't think it moves the needle much in the NFC North. I think the Packers were already up there. I do think the Packers pendulum was swinging down a little bit. Now with Micah there, I think the Lions and Packers have to be right there considered favorites. And then the Bears are obviously long shot. The Vikings are obviously a long shot. They have a lot of questions at quarterback. But I think any one of the four teams could surprise and win this division. It's up for grabs. There's no one dominant team. There's four really good teams, two that are perceived a little bit better, and then two that have some questions that they need to answer on the football field. But some of those questions are going to be answered soon, man. I can't wait. Hopefully we can chop it up a bunch of times this year. It should be a fun season, man, is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, man, I'm always here, man. Anytime you need me to pull up and talk ball with you, man, I'm here, man. And anytime you want to come on our show, man, because Alan loves you, man. Alan, he's like, yo, he loves Swifty, man. Like I said, we're all fans of yours, man. So, whenever you want to pull up, if you got time during the season,
I'll pull up, man.
It's the reaction, whether win or loss. I'll be like, hey, Swift, man, you want to come on and come talk ball with us, man? We appreciate you, man.
Hey, for sure. I'd love to come on, man. I appreciate the offer, man. I'll be there.
Yes, sir.
All right, bear down, brother.
Bear down.